What's up, guys?
What up?
What's up with you?
How goes it?
A little bit of the
It
left, I
goes.
guess.
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, it's 2 days before Christmas?
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get it.
Let's fucking
Did you
get it.
Did you get your people's their things and wrap them up?
I will say
No.
yes.
No for Joe, yes for Cody. No for Cody.
Nah, I basically
You just put it in a bag.
yeah. I don't rap shit.
In the bag.
It's fair. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. It's alright.
I have a problem
because
because
putting it in the bag.
yeah, well,
Damn it.
folding wrapping paper to me is so hard not to rip.
It's a skill. I will agree with you.
Like a lot of people will do like the whole pre-fold thing where they're like fold, but I'm too impatient and I'm like, nah, this shit's getting wrapped, and so I just like start wrapping shit and then like corners rip and I'm like, tape. So
Did you say taint?
Down.
tape.
Tape.
Yeah, I rub it on my
Taint.
taint.
That's how he glues it together.
Don't shower for a couple days.
From under glue.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good.
From adhesive.
That's the worst kind of adhesive. That's not even adhesive. That's just.
Are you playing Monopoly Go, Taj? Not a sponsor.
Presently, no. Presently, no.
Okay.
Got sick of stuck in jail so many times.
Dude, I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm positive that this game is that game, not this game, is racist and knows that I'm black.
Does it ask you when you sign up?
All right, are you a black man?
Well, you put a name in, so if you put a name in that the game thinks is definitely not
This one
white.
does not ask for your name.
Does it not?
Not your real name, at least. So
Oh.
it does not know that I am.
Oh.
You know,
It
I
just
have a racially charged name.
it just assumes.
It just assumes, yeah, that I am
Just
black, and
assumes.
therefore I belong in jail, and therefore to jail I go.
Did you
all the
did you
fucking
link
time.
it to your like Facebook or something?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm not a big sharer like that.
oh,
Oh, be all right. I don't need everybody on my Facebook knowing that I'm fucking playing this bullshit ass game.
Right.
I can suffer in silence.
Remember when that used to be a big thing that you would sign in with like your Facebook,
Facebook
account,
account.
and it would not only would you get rewards for stuff like that, and then people could like send you things and whatnot, or you're playing straight up Facebook games and whatnot.
So this game, the Monopoly Go does still like it wants you to sign up your fucking shit and then give you the rewards for doing so, but I'm not interested.
Yeah.
but no.
Pass. Hard pass
Pass.
variety.
Pass.
Right. No one needs to know that you're playing
They really don't. Nobody.
Monopoly.
Just leave me be.
I'm gonna tag you in a
Right.
post about it. Now.
Eventually. So yeah, I'm suffering through this Monopoly Go thing in silence, and that will continue to be the case. I hope.
Fair enough.
Did you know Jason Momoa auditioned to be Batman?
No, that would be weird.
I mean, it would be weird now because we know he's Aquaman, but
Well,
I suppose.
I say it mostly is weird because to me he's always had like a beard and long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him without.
Obviously-
It's weird.
Yeah, I've seen him without when he was, especially when he was younger, when he started out in the Baywatch Hawaii, I think it was.
Baywatch Nights.
Was it Baywatch Nights?
Yeah.
So young Momoa had the short hair and no
Right.
beard. But knowing him now with the long hair and beard, it would just be weird to see him like either
So you would
straight
have
up,
to, yeah.
either straight up keep everything and look like homeless Batman or Hawaiian Batman.
They just have to
Oh,
redesign the
Batman.
cowl to be around his beard, so it's
Yeah,
just a
right?
mouth hole. Like,
Yeah. or
That'd
to
be fun
have him
looking.
shave it all off and try and be the proper Bruce Wayne type figure would be just a really weird thing. But it'd be like, it's not that I don't think he could do it. It'd be like seeing Cody shave his beard completely off, and I'd be
Don't
like,
say
I
that.
don't like that. I
I
don't
don't
like
see
that
that.
at all.
Oh,
You know,
it's not
Nobody
good.
wants to see that.
It's not good.
I wouldn't even want to see myself with my beard shaved off. It'd be so awkward and weird to me.
I'd be much more up to see that than Cody.
Hey, man.
Yeah. But you have more facial hair than I do.
Cody's also uglier than you are, buddy.
That's the point right there.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, it'd be funny to see, but no, I wouldn't want to see.
I
Now,
don't
if
know
you
if
could
I
do
would
an animated, if you did
feature.
the voice of Batman on like an animated series, that'd be kind of funny and cool.
Yeah, but the joy of Jason Momoa though in roles is being Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like even in Dune, like he's very Jason Momoa still.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
He's awfully Momoy.
Yep.
That's a word, right?
That's a
Momoa?
term.
Momoa.
Momoy.
Sounds like one of you guys are having a stroke.
Both.
Not me.
Both.
Oh, gross.
How dare you?
I dare. So that which Batman would have been?
He didn't. It didn't specify. It just said he had auditioned for Batman, and then later he knew he was going to get it, but his agent's like, "Hey, let's try this." But he's like, that's when he became. I'm guessing it was back when Nolan, because
So the Bale Batman.
yeah, because
Bale.
he then he realized he wanted to be Lobo, which obviously isn't a
so it'd be
Batman
Lobo. Yeah.
Batman villain, but you know what I mean. It's still in the realm of the DC.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like Lobo, so I mean,
He does.
Right.
that's just
Play to your strengths.
Yeah,
He
you know.
looks like Aquaman.
sort of. I mean, other than the whole not,
Well,
not
yes,
being blonde, but
Yes. But I believe him being more Aquaman than most other actors.
yeah. I mean, Alan Ritchson's was the very first Arthur Curry on TV, but
He was.
live action TV, not otherwise, because he was not born in the 70s.
That'd be weird.
Jack Reacher should be real old. Real old.
I mean, technically, Jack Reacher is kind of old.
You're kind of old.
I'm sorry. That's not nice.
Speaking of Reacher, how you liking the new season? I haven't even finished the first season yet, so
Jesus Christ.
no
Well, you need to
spoilers.
hurry the hell up.
But,
Well,
you
I'll
know,
say this, Joe. He survives the first season.
That's true.
I-
That is
I
true.
would assume
He's
that
one
he
of
would.
few that do.
Well, yeah,
Also
because from
true.
what I've seen, like
Also true.
people are being stapled to the wall in the first season.
Bro, that
so,
shit's tame. That shit's tame.
There's
Yeah.
so much that goes on.
I will say this though, in season 2, he kills more people sooner than he does in the first season.
Oh, good. It ramps up real good. real
Because the
fast.
first season, he just beats the shit out of a ton of people.
Is the second season a continuation of the storyline of the first season?
No.
Or is it-
No.
So it's its own thing. So they
Every
finished up
book.
the story of right. So it's every season is its own contained thing, and now we're on to a new thing.
Yeah.
And because every book stands by itself, every season stands by itself.
Well, is the first season even based off of one of the books, or is
First
it just
book.
like a?
They're
Is it-
all
okay.
based off of it.
Yeah, they tell you at the beginning of the show, it says
What book
based,
it's based on.
yeah, like based on Jack
Right,
Reacher, blah blah blah.
But having not read any of the
Yeah.
books, you know how they do the like. This is based off of the book. It's like it's based off of Jack Reacher, but we also just took so many fucking liberties.
Yeah, they're not
It
taking
might as well
any
not
liberties.
even be the first story.
They're not taking any liberties. They're actually making the books.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
And I don't know this. I just read about it because I was trying to do research on just the books themselves. I talked to Taj obviously because he's our local expert on.
The resident Reacher expert.
Yeah. But I was looking at reading lists and what people suggest. Because
It's
the
another one of those that like jumps around in time.
yeah the story, like he wrote them like he purposely wrote them however he wanted to. Like he basically had a story idea, wrote them, and then like loosely based them in a timeline. So he does reference certain things in from certain books but also references stuff ahead of time and then writes a story that is about that reference. But I was reading a thing. The guy, some dude who's a fucking like scholar in the school of Reacher, apparently, said that there's a line in the first episode of season 2 that makes it think they're not gonna make one of the books. I mean, I say this. There are how many books now, Taj? Like directly?
24.
Yeah, so it's 20 something.
It's 20 something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to make all of them, which is a shame.
It is a shame, but also understandable.
But he pointed out a reason why they're not going to make this one. It's because they reference in the line, not that it matters to Joe, because he's not there yet. But they mentioned how basically the last time Neely saw Reacher, and he mentions it was over 2,000 days ago.
Yeah.
And which is they're referencing the Musgrave portion of it from the first season.
Right, they harken back.
Yep. But he mentioned she asked where you been. He's like, Oz, Indiana. There was a sniper situation, and that reference is
to another book,
which is the book that they based the second Tom Cruise movie on.
Right.
So they want to stay away from that because it's been done.
Not great, but it was done.
Yeah, I mean, granted.
Well enough.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was the weaker of the two movies, for sure.
It was.
I honestly forgot that that's what the second movie was about.
Yeah. Yeah, so did everyone else. So I thought that was kind of cool that, like, hey, like, let's not retread it.
I think it's smart as well.
And it's, which is a good call. But I read a little bit about that story. I kind of want to see it though.
Their take on it.
Well,
like,
their take, but also
take.
like actual like real take, not a fucking hour and a half long action flick.
Right.
Because that's the one thing about both seasons so far is there's a lot of character development on all facets of all the characters, minor characters, major characters, obviously. The second season is more of an ensemble than the first. Like the first was obviously Jack Reacher, and then you have the townspeople of Musgrave, and then you have a little bit of Neely. But in the second season, it's all about the 110th, which is his army division.
Okay.
The special investigators, as they call themselves, and so you get to meet more of them. And there's 3 additional. So there's Jack and 3 other ones. Or I'm sorry, Reacher and 3 other ones that are main characters in this season, and then they sprinkle in the other ones as part of the story. But like, I don't know if it's a theme in the books, but there's like a horrific murder, like that happens at the beginning of each season. Like his brother, right?
The beginning of this one's not as much murder as it is.
Are
we talking about the main character, the cause? Or are we talking about
the being yeeted out alive out of the back of a helicopter?
Okay, so we're talking about the cause of them all coming back.
Yeah, like he gets yeeted out of a helicopter while alive.
Yeah, it's pretty traumatic.
And then he hits every branch on 4 trees going down.
I mean, listen, if you're gonna go all the way.
I mean, he had no choice. It was definitely involuntary yeeting.
True. I'm gonna go on mute. My dad's calling.
Okay. Bye, Jeff.
But with that said, did you read that? What's his name? The guy who plays Reacher in the show.
Alan Ritchson.
Alan Ritchson wrote a heartfelt letter to Tom Cruise, thanking him for bringing the character to the movie screen to make it, so that this TV series could basically happen. And It was apparently a very just heartfelt, sappy, letter that he wanted Cruise to have. But his agent and I want to say there was someone else in there was just yeah, no, we're not going to give that to Tom. He's kind of moved on from the Reacher stuff, so we're just not going to do that.
Yeah,
it's a little heartbroken by that.
Yeah, I saw him on Jimmy Kimmel.
I think that might have been where the story came from. One of the late night shows.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Hilarious and a little unfortunate
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure Cruz is a nice enough guy that would have been like, yeah, no problem, man. Here's a coconut cake or something like that. Um, yeah, it would have been at least cool to have his Cruz's response on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure since I think he's highly involved in Skydance Entertainment. Um, Tom is. I'm pretty sure he already knows about it because that's who makes the show with Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. I will say this though, season 1 is extremely well done. I'm not saying there's nothing bad about it. Season 2 probably has, and I don't know if it's the difference in the source material from that book to this book because it's like book 1 versus book 9. I think this one is.
Oh wow! So they skipped a bunch of books to do this one.
Yeah, but see, the books aren't written in order like Taj was saying, so it's not chronological. I can't talk.
Chronologically.
Done. So like it's not like you don't you're not
Right.
going from like book 1 to book 2 is like in time. So they can jump around quite a bit, but they're keeping closer to the chronology of the character versus the books.
Gotcha. Okay.
From what I can tell, because there are obviously prequels that take place even before the Killing Floor, which is the first book that season 1 is based on, because he wrote them as prequel stories.
Okay.
But yeah, like season 1 was extremely well done because it's like they're all whodunits from what I've read online because they're investigators, they're special investigators for the military. But this one is more of a to me feels more like a Jack Ryan-ish story. And I don't want to explain. I don't want to ruin why, because when you get there, it's kind of a cool explanation when you find out what's going on.
They hunted the Red October.
Damn it, he figured it out. It's
Such Reacher.
it's
hunting
the
down
Blue
Russian
November.
Yes.
I was gonna say it in Spanish, but I don't remember how to say October in Spanish. Nope, don't remember.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But yes, but season 2, again, I don't know if it's because of the difference in the books, because I haven't read any of the books. But every episode of season 2 has a very large, if not more than one, action sequence in it. And because I watched episodes 1 through 3 back to back to back, I can't remember exactly which episode had more in it. But I will say this: episode 3 is the best episode they've made so far.
Damn.
But the fight scene in episode 4 at the end, when Jack Reacher headbutts a guy's arm in half.
I haven't watched episode 4 yet.
I'm not going to ruin it for you.
In half.
Yeah, they're in a fight. the 4 of them are in a fight, and it gets brutal. And the best part is like
usually does.
the people they're fighting basically surround him in the area. I don't want to ruin it for you because it's fun. And they're like, guns. Like, how do you know we have guns? They're like, look at you. And I was like, that's actually pretty funny. They gather the guns, but then the person gathering the guns gathers all the other people's guns that are assailing him. And Jack goes, oh, no guns, didn't want noise. And he goes, oh, you're catching on, or you're smarter than you look, or something like that. And then it's just a fucking like 9-on-4 fight, which is not enough people for them. They should probably double those numbers.
Right.
But at one point,
It's not a fair fight.
yeah, Reacher grabs a dude's arm and like literally just headbutts him into the elbow, and his arm splits in half.
So you learn in first season that a group of people is not enough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I enjoy.
It's it's entertaining for sure. And it's
If you
definitely
start
not.
reading the books,
You'll
you'll get a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm still trying to debate which way I want to go. I'll probably just read them in release order, just to make it fucking easier.
Just let me know.
Right. because that's the way Amazon's gonna present it to you anyway.
Yeah, because it's gonna go like it's not really gonna be like, oh, I want to read about Jack when he was beforehand, because I know I was reading this other guy's art. The guy I was talking about, the scholar dude earlier, he broke it down in a really easy way to understand. Basically said if you read them in release order, the stories make more sense because you're not learning about stuff that you haven't learned about yet.
I will agree with that.
And if you read them in chronological order, you experience events before they're referenced, and you lose the reason they're referenced.
I think that A, that's true. B, excuse me. The further along you get into reading the books, the less impact that has. But he's not wrong.
Oh yeah, he mentioned in the first 6 books is what that really does, because by the time you get in further into them, there's so much going on, and they're referencing things that don't happen ever in any of the books.
And in the books,
they're just they're plot points to move stuff forward. But also he writes in the fact that, again, this guy was like super in depth and like he might have too much time on his hands, but he's like, those are points for the ability for Lee and his now son,
Andrew.
Lee and Andrew, right?
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah. To basically go back and write stories
in the future
using those references, like they did before, because that's what they were doing in the first 6 books. Is they made a lot of references they could go back to and tie to, which I guess sometimes messed up timelines with wrong dates, but they denote those later on. They're like, "Yeah, we're sorry, we made this mistake. There's way too many of these books and things going on in them." And I guess in one of the newer books, Taj, they do identify him as having an eidetic memory.
Do they?
Yeah. It's the one that it's the Sentinel, I think it's called.
I did read the Sentinel.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's weird.
Yeah. Maybe because you don't have an eidetic memory.
This is true.
But I guess it's mentioned by the general or someone who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about why he's put in, like, why they put someone of his stature in charge of the special investigators.
110th, yes, I remember now.
Yeah, because then he
That
mentioned
was a new book, by the way. So.
Yeah, because that's the one that was the first one written by him and his brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Andrew's taking over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although no one knows really when, because so the first Lee and Andrew book it's 2 or 3 years now, and every book since is Lee and Andrew.
Gotcha.
So,
I wonder if they're writing it like Stephen does with, like Stephen King and Owen King wrote Sleeping Beauties, and they wrote them in a wild way. Like, Joe and I enjoy a book written by 2 dudes, book series called The Expanse, and they literally plot out the whole story, and then they go and they write individual chapters. And then they go back and they obviously make sure that they're not killing off somebody or adding new characters that the other person's not using in those ones. But if you didn't know that and you just thought James S.A. Corey was one human being, you would never expect it. Like, I remember when Joe and I found out, we're like, wait, hold on. It's 2 people?
2 people? Yeah, and they write separate chapters.
Yeah, and it's wild. But like when Stephen and Owen King did Sleeping Beauties, they literally wrote, and it's again one of those things where you can't actually tell, because I think that has to do with the editors more than anything else, but they wrote the chapters individually. So one would write 1 and 3, and then one would write 2 and 4 and 5. It was weird. I read a thing about it, but it would go back and forth, but they had a story they were telling, but they would do their own thing. You could I mean, I couldn't tell. I'm not like a fucking super expert, but I couldn't tell too much when one was not writing the other.
Right, and that speaks to how well that they can write with each other.
Yeah.
Because, different people
and writing styles.
Different people have different writing styles. So having it being basically distinguishable is really good.
I'll have to say in Sleeping Beauties, though, when the lady is forced awake and bites a dude's fucking nose off, it's probably Steven. But
the one thing about the newer books that I noticed, or it's not even about the newer books, but I did notice as we got closer to Andrew starting to write books, Lee's writing style changed a little bit. There's a lot more third person references to Reacher, which never happened in the early books. Like, it was all first person, but you started to get more third person stuff further down the line in books, and that was like the only writing style I noticed change.
oh, so into narrative versus. Okay.
There was some narrative stuff, and it's not all narrative, and it's not all, first. It's a blend, but it is something that you get more of the further into the book series you get.
And that's a more cinematic thing too, because without the first person view, you lose a lot of the context, especially in season 2. Because in season 1, you don't get a whole lot of outside of Jack's, or sorry, can't call him Jack.
Reacher.
Outside of Reacher's point of view, versus season 2, you actually go with another character at certain points. That's very interesting.
Yeah. It was, I can't remember which book I noticed it in, and obviously I'm reading them out of order. But I did notice, and I was like, that's different. But it's not a detractor from the storytelling or anything like that. It's just, obviously a different way of telling the stories.
Yeah, when the narrative starts
gaining perspective.
Yeah, like refer to him as Reacher versus his point of view.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Still great books though, and I will read them all eventually.
There's plenty to fucking read.
Yeah.
How many have you read?
14. I literally have them. They're all sitting in my room in a big fucking pile. That's what I told Cody. If he wants me, just let me know. But yeah, quite a few.
Quite a few.
Reads physical media anymore?
I buy physical media sometimes when I enjoy a book, because I have like a stack right here.
I think that's now that I've been shamed into buying digital, everything else. I think books are the only physical media thing that I will continue to buy. In part because I envision myself having a library eventually in a home that I probably that I can't afford because life. But when I do, I want to just have a room full of hardbacks.
So I like that idea too, but I like them more as a collector's item type thing. That's why the only ones I collect now are the signed editions.
Understandable.
The really nice artworks on them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cody just collects all of them.
Nope. Collect
especially
all of them.
If they're Watchmen.
Well, yes.
What is that?
So what's really fucked up? Speaking of Watchmen,
So many things.
I know this shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. Not only did I find another edition that I own, but I have found that I have 2 versions of the movie version, like the behind the scenes ones.
Uh-huh.
There's one of like the making of, and then there's the one of the art of. And I was like, how the fuck?
These?
How do I have these?
No one knows.
I think I bought those
yourself.
like those ones. Yeah, like I was like, bro, like they're in the other room.
Well, I don't have this, and you bought another one, not realizing.
No, they're 2 different books.
Ooh.
They're 2 different books. One is the making of, and one is the art of.
Right.
But it's 2 books I didn't realize I owned.
Okay, I thought
And
you
I
said
was-
that you already had them.
No. Like I didn't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I already had them, as in like I had them previously, and I didn't know I had them previously.
Right. Yeah.
But I was cleaning up in the den the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck is this Watchmen book?" And right next to it's another one. I was like, "What is this Watchmen book?" And then next to it's another one. I was like,
What the fuck?
"What is wrong with me?" And then I realized what they were. I was like,
So many
"Thank
things.
God, these are not
This is
all
separate.
3 graphic novels. sitting next to each other. It's bad enough those fucking two are, and
Right.
those three are.
It's so embarrassing. That's all I'll
It's
say.
like you really like The Watchmen, but just don't want to admit it.
I've never even read it. What are you talking about?
I've never even read it. I don't own the movie special edition either.
Really, Joe? You want to do this?
No, I don't want to.
Dick. I only own 2 versions because fucking Munger bought me one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
And
pre-ordered.
that's why you have an extra version of the books as well.
Shut up, Joe. Nobody likes you.
Not... Look, man.
That's harsh. That's so hurtful.
Hashtag
I like you,
facts.
Joe.
Thank you.
I like you,
you too, Taj.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
How Harrison Ford influences Alan Ritchson's Reacher performance. You guys do know that's the wrong Jack, right?
Yeah, wrong Jack.
Yeah, wrong Jack indeed.
Did he get bigger for the second season?
Bro, dude, I
He
can't.
is bigger, yes.
He
but I don't
is-
think he did it on purpose. I think he's just getting bigger. One of his many interviews he did, he talks about how his preparation for season 1 was just all like go balls out at the gym. He said, first off, he's been working out for 20 years, so he was already fit. But they told him he needed to put on 20 or 30 pounds of muscle
Which is insane.
to do Reacher. And so he just went hard at the gym. And then after the fact, he learned that he had lower testosterone and took care of that. And as a result, his workouts got easier. So I think that fixing the testosterone issue got him to get bigger for season 2.
Him being that big in season 1 was him at low testosterone?
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
What
And it's the craziest
fuck?
thing.
There's a scene in season 2. I think it's might be episode 2. I can't remember now. Again, 1, 2, and 3 are like they bleed in to each other because I feel like I watched like a fucking movie. Because I didn't stop watching. I was like, food? What? No, movie. But there's a scene where him and Dixon, one of the other characters, they get in a fight with these dudes, and they're back at their hotel, and he takes his shirt off because he got sliced. He broke a knife with one of his abs, and he takes his shirt off, and I was just like,
Dude's a specimen.
what is happening right now? Like, is this CG? Because, like, bruh, how did they get that shirt on you? Where the
Painted on.
It's like, it's funny too because I made that joke. The joke I made about him being bigger when I first started watching it, season 2, through the text, was because he the cold open is fantastic, but he has to. One of his traits is he doesn't have luggage. He doesn't own anything. He's a fucking hobo. So he's always buying clothes through like thrift stores and stuff because he can pay cash and it's cheap and blah blah blah, right? But I'm like, he also has the best luck because how the fuck do you find clothes that big in a thrift store?
Dude, right?
He's got a big and tall section.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, do you only look for big and tall fucking thrift stores? Because, like, bruh. Like, yeah, but he's in that, and he takes his shirt off to, like, basically clean his wounds, and he's just fucking yoked. And I was like, brother,
Chiseled.
I thought you were big in the first season, right? I thought you were in really good shape when you were in Blue Mountain State, because you were a fucking yoked up football player. Bro, dude, I was like, brother. After I saw that, I was like, there's no way this fucking dude can be Batman because they don't make armor that big.
Right?
I was like, there's no way you're hiding in shadows because you're casting them.
He is a really large dude.
Yeah, and it's
in his older age, he would probably be a pretty good Batman.
yeah, he definitely. I mean, he could be a Batman now, but he would be the most terrifying Batman
The
ever to be
biggest
born.
That's what I'm
on the
saying,
planet.
the Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah,
just
like
the big
barrel
like
chested ass. I'm gonna punch you through a wall.
Yes.
fucking stab you with your own fucking index finger.
I'm here for that, by the way.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
If this is heard by any producers or anything, I'm here for all of that.
Yeah, come on
Right.
now. Like, James likes getting like mildly unknown people for his stuff, right? Like they have, he's not pulling fan bases in with you know his castings, but bro, dude, if he casts Alan as fucking Batman, dude, it's gonna be wild.
Is it the Beyond Batman? That's the older, big-chested.
No, so
chested.
no, Batman Beyond, he was a frail old man.
That's right.
He was still a big guy.
Yeah, because he's
Still a
just
big guy
physically
that could handle
big
himself, but he was also old and relatively frail.
and had a bad heart.
Yes.
But that's because of the strain he put on his body, and then made it worse by
Exactly.
putting a suit that made his body do
Right.
more things. No, because of the time frame that the version that Joe was speaking of took place was before Batman Beyond was created. Because that came out of the Bruce Timm version versus the Frank Miller was basically just him imagining what it would be like if Batman had retired. Instead of being like most people think is eventually he's gonna die, either fighting crime or because of fighting crime. And he basically became this like old billionaire who just did whatever he wanted. No, he went away from being a mentor. Like in Frank Miller's,
No Batman.
yeah, Batman just goes away. Like one day he's just gone, and the police have to fucking take care of all the crime by themselves because Batman put most of his bad guys away, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. They didn't make it.
Yeah, they either put him in jail or in fucking, the ground. So he's just, and he never lost a step. He's just this big fucking jacked old man, who is grizzled as fuck, dude. Like he just doesn't give two shits. And there's a scene in the at the end where he is in a fucking knife fight with one of the leader of the mutants, as they call themselves, and it's during a thunderstorm in a giant mud puddle, and he hits the guy so hard he shatters his teeth.
Oh yes.
While he's standing.
Oh yeah.
And then proceeds to get on top and just beat a literal mud hole into him.
Seems fitting.
So yeah, that's the kind of Alan Richardson Batman I would love to see.
Like, give him a few more years to hold up a little bit.
To matriculate
and
into age.
Cast him as just a one-off Frank Miller Batman story, movie,
Well,
TV show even. Except TV show.
I accept all of that.
I mean, he's right now he's in the ripe age to have the Brave and the Bold Batman role because he's old enough to believable have like a teenage son, because that's the basis of the Brave and the Bold is him and Damian, I believe is what they're going for. It could be Tim Drake, but it's basically Batman and Robin. But I believe they're going for Damian Wayne because they want that the father son type thing. Plus that dynamic is fucking dope in there. But I did read somewhere that it's an interesting thing because part of the Brave and Bold newer version, if I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up again, is actually they're basing it on the Batman and Robin book from Grant Morrison, which is not Bruce and Damian. It's actually Dick Grayson and Damian. So Dick Grayson takes over the cowl because Batman's missing. And I was like, bro, can you imagine if they made him fucking Nightwing,
right?
Batman? Like, Dick's like, hey, I don't fit into the cowl because I'm not that big. Let's go ahead and fucking get jacked. And he's just this fucking yoked ass Dick Grayson Batman. He's like, I need to step it up because I'm not Batman. And just all of a sudden comes in, you're like, shit. But I was like, but it's called Brave and the Bold and not Batman and Robin. Mainly because they want to stay with the name Batman and Robin because of a certain neon-clad nipple-having bat suit. Because, why not? But yeah, so I was like, well, that'd be interesting, but also that would be confusing to a lot of people, so, like, probably not going to be the Dick Grayson Batman. But it would be dope for him to be... I mean, he would probably need to slender down a little bit from the muscle mass, still be in like good shape, obviously, but like
I don't know what you're talking right now.
he'd be a little too fucking big. I'm telling you right now, like no shadow's gonna hide this motherfucker, right? And like no bat cycle without like a double set of wheels in front and back is gonna fucking hold this gentleman because he's just too fucking big.
Such a great
motorcycle.
I mean, he's only 6'5", which is wild.
I mean, there is a motorcycle like that. Isn't that the Dodge Viper motorcycle that has the 2 wheels in front and back? I mean, you just turned that thing into Batman.
Well, that's what I mean. The fucking Bale had his, which was essentially a big fat fucking tire, but I mean, that could hold him. But I mean, still, I mean, like Jesus, his battering would have to be like a fucking like actual boomerang because it'd be too fucking big.
It'd be hilarious.
Wow.
Really awesome.
But I mean, like, it'd be hilarious in the sense of like you see him because we're talking about the utility stuff. It would have to be bigger to match him. But like you see him have it, and it looks normal size, and he throws it at somebody, and you realize, oh no, that's a giant thing that he just threw at a dude.
You know those? What are they called?
Compared to the other guy.
What are those Japanese fucking butcher knives called? The makiris?
Mm-hmm.
Like
the only ones that I can think of, the Ginsus, and those are old.
Yeah, like they're like this fucking tall and have like that weird slant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called. They have a weird name because they're Japanese. Weird American name. Sorry, not weird Japanese name, but weird American name. But it's basically like it's that like, and it like Joe's saying, he's holding his hand. It looks like whenever battering, he throws it, sticks into a wall next to a guy, and it looks like the the fucking Miller bat logo, the big fat thick bat, but it's like a piece of metal that he threw, and you're like, nope, nope. I don't want it. I don't want it at all.
No, not interested at all.
Let's see. I didn't really have much else.
No, coming into the Christmas weekend, like to me, there wasn't really anything that I saw.
There's so much to fucking watch.
There's so much to watch. It's not news to talk about.
I mean, look, you haven't watched Percy Jackson yet, though, have you?
No, because somebody has been working all nights lately.
Ew.
So.
We had when you do watch Percy Jackson, I will want to talk about it. Obviously, I don't think I'll make the show because I'll have Ari next weekend, but that's something that I would definitely talk to you about because noticeable differences. Not bad, just different.
From the movies or the books?
Movies.
Oh, well.
I haven't read the books yet.
Because the book or the movies
legitimately have the book sitting right behind me. Just haven't read it
yet. The movies skip so much from the book, but obviously that makes sense because it's a movie versus a book,
right?
And from what I saw in the trailer, the last one they released, where you see the sword fight with Adam Copeland, and I was like, oh, they did it. They have a lot more, but also it lends the fact that the writer of the books is the showrunner and co-creator, and partial writer of the first season. And
part I was really excited to see.
Very heavily involved, so much
Him
so.
And his wife.
Yeah, but so much so involved that he was involved in casting, and he called the kid who is Percy in person and did the video call with him and offered him the role. Or, well, not offered him the role, but said, hey, like, we would like you to take this role.
Right.
Obviously, the kid was going to say yes because he went through probably quite a bit of auditioning. But I thought that was pretty cool, and I was like, okay, that makes way more sense. And I've only read the first two books, so I do like the fact they're calling it Percy Jackson and the Olympians, because
and not the lightning thief,
and the fucking sea monsters or whatever,
right?
Because that way you're not. I mean, those are obviously the stories they're going with, but it's not called them. Yeah, it's like when they did the Harry Potter movies, it's not fucking Harry Potter and his friends. It was that story, right? And I get it, but when it's the show, you want the show title, and then the seasons will be earmarked as.
The season is the Lightning Thief,
yeah. So, but
they're cool. Still for Disney,
where he's holding the bolt,
the top scroll. Yes, yeah. I love that.
I saw it when I went to go watch something on Disney.
That thing.
Oh, I watched the making of Ahsoka. That's what's it called? Not Legends.
There's
that's
the making of Ahsoka.
It's not the Legends is the Marvel one. What do they call the Star Wars one?
Oh shit! I know what you're talking about.
Not Visions. That's the fucking animated one. What
Visions is animated.
the fuck do they call it? Where's my phone?
I got it.
Look it up. It's got a name. They always name them something. No, I don't want to
Yeah.
join the video
It's like
call.
behind the scenes of making the show.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
is
yeah,
it-
yeah. Because like with the Marvel stuff, they do Legends, which is like their version of like the behind the scenes, like the showing like the making of, and then they're like 30-ish minutes long or whatever. And they do ones with Star Wars too, and they have a name for them. I can't remember what they're called.
I
But-
saw the new season of What If popped up.
Yeah. Yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
It popped up in my Apple TV Plus feed yesterday.
Yeah. I'm guessing nobody's watched Rebel Moon yet.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched the same night you did.
Oh,
Just
you end up
looking
watching it? Okay.
Yeah, fucking amazing.
Oh my god, dude. I almost
So
watched it
good.
again yesterday, but I was like, I'm playing Starfield and I am too stuck on this right now.
Did you ever end up finding anything cool on Starfield?
Dude, there's so much cool shit.
Is that
Out
it?
here?
Is that Master and Apprentice?
Yeah, that's the one. I told you I had a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically talks. Well, it's not that fucking hard to figure out why it's called that.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty rad. It's a fun time to watch. Plus, you get to watch them make the show on the volume sets and like their real sets and using their fucking lightsabers, which are dope because they light up in real life. It's
I'm
fucking
okay
cool
with
as hell. No, so in Starfield, obviously the end game is drastically different than the main campaign, which still is to me the worst part of the game. Not the story, the going through it. They definitely need to do some stuff with that. And they actually have a very large roadmap and a very big update coming the first part of the year, which is
But
exciting for like
They
because
still have the first DLC to release.
yes, and they're doing a quality of life update basically. So they're going through they're going to be implementing a lot of things that players want, updated to maps. So you're getting detailed city maps.
My God, I'm so frustrated with the fact that they just skipped over that.
Yeah, it's very bizarre because they use the same mapping as they do like for planets, but like you're in a city, which should have. I get it if you're like in a fucking like outpost, you're not gonna have a map, right? But like not having a map for Jemison or for what do they call it? New Atlantis,
New Atlantis, yeah.
and not having a map for like Aquila City or Neon, which is a
Yeah.
fucking nightmare to get around anyways. Not having that and just having a fucking grid, you're like, this makes no fucking sense.
Well, and again, I mean, not to harp on it even more, the biggest problem that I even had with the no map system is that they would literally be like, one of the faction quests that I finished for, or the faction quest that I finished for New Atlantis was like, yeah, and you have a new apartment building, you can go check it out. And I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck it is.
Residential district, but yeah, it makes it, I know what you're saying because I
Which
did the
is
same
fine,
thing.
but residential district, cool. I still have no idea where the residential district is. I can't pull up the map and be like, oh, here is the residential district, and here's my apartment.
So when I first found the residential
or
district,
even like, hey, I need ammo. Where's the ammo shop?
yeah, that still
I
bothers
have
me
no
that
idea.
I can make meds, but I can't make ammo, which is insane to me.
So let me go buy ammo, but let me go find the ammo shop. I know there is one on New Atlantis, but it's not on the goddamn map.
There's like 5.
I don't know.
No,
Because I
there's-
can't tell you what is there.
Yeah, I mean I've played long enough to know that there's at least 5 I can think of right now.
Yeah, you are surprisingly really sticking with it.
Truly.
I would like to. I haven't abandoned the game. Like maybe after they do these quality of life updates, I'll go back. But I'm enjoying Alan Wake 2 so much more.
I'll say this: I still there's some broken stuff that still makes me mad because there's stuff like there's one that of a mission I've already played because I'm in my fucking 6th fucking playthrough.
Idiots.
How many playthroughs have you done?
This is my 6th one.
Your sixth one.
Jesus,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking ridiculous. And I can go on to my 7th if I wanted to, but I'm kind of exploring and doing things like building outposts and working on ships and stuff. I am only level 104, so that's not too bad. But
like level 20 or something like that.
yeah. Well, later on it doesn't. It really doesn't matter. Um, but in the Crimson Fleet missions, which everyone confuses as something it's not, because it literally is the Crimson Fleet missions. It's not the UC, because the UC is a different set of missions. I did those as
Yes,
well.
that's the mission that I did, or the UC mission.
Yeah,
Have you done that one?
I
I
did
mean,
it.
you
I
played
finished that one. Yeah.
yeah, which was pretty fun for a little, at least for a little while, because you're like, this is Starship Troopers.
Yeah, there's only really one mission in that was like super duper awesome, which is the last big mission.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get to go against the Terramorphs and whatever, right?
Yes.
But my problem was that I was so powerful that like
No,
I had guns that could fucking kill most of them in like 2 shots.
yeah, like I even at level 20, it would take me a little while to kill them, but I'd still be able to kill them, and then just like can't like why aren't you handling this a lot better? Like
Yeah.
whatever. Like I mean, I guess if you're Sarah and you just decide to run up and punch it, yeah,
Well,
you're not going to
that's
have a good time.
that's a different story we already
That's
talked
a
about.
different story.
Um,
I'm curious. One real quick. What did you choose as the ultimate solution in that side mission? Because I chose to go with the space cows as a way of eliminating.
I did the both option.
Both.
Yeah. So if you do it properly, you actually get to choose both. So they're gonna basically like breed the space cows, which are terrifying in general. But then they also produce the thing. And the reason I went to it leans more towards the space cows in that one. Like they say, like don't not do this option, but like we're gonna utilize the space cows.
Well, I asked, and how many times have you done that mission to get that out to get the outcomes?
I've only done that one once.
Okay, because if you just first off, I don't remember having an option for both. So maybe I didn't do it in quite the correct way to necessitate the option for both. But I chose the space cows, and when you choose that, like everyone in Constellation is
Hates
like
you.
does not like your decision on
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, you're literally want me to choose a bio what's the word I'm looking for, biohazard, like a virus, to release a virus that could like mutate, like even at one point in time you're like, no, that could like affect other things there without consequence, with consequences that you don't know.
Yeah.
So why would we genetically engineer a virus that just kills these things but then could possibly mutate and cause other problems? And they're like, no, it's totally fine. I'm like, yeah, but this is a long-term solution. Yeah, but like at least people could also kill them for food. That's why they're space cows, and they're already almost on every other planet, so what the fuck ever. But like it was just so shocking to be like everyone in Constellation was like, you made a bad choice.
Yeah, I was
Just
like
go fuck yourself.
that was I had stopped using companions. Well, I had Vasca with me when we did those. Oh no, I didn't, because I took I had the chick lady with me, the xenoscientist lady. But I had stopped bringing companions with me, which I wanted to use companions because like they're good for storage, right? And they also take a little bit of fucking fodder, like gunfire away from you. But they also ruin a lot of like gameplay stuff where like they get seen way too easy because they don't hide.
Oh my god, right?
And it's just dumb, and then like they just start firing at things. I'm like, bro, like, can you fucking hold? Can you wait for me?
Right?
So I was like, at the point I was like, I don't care about having companions anymore. Like they don't do enough for me. So like I don't have a companion. Like on my ship right now, which can hold 9 crew, I have me and Vasco. Because he does shields and lasers, which is funny because my new ship doesn't have lasers. It has 2 particle beams and a fucking. Oh, it does have a laser now. I did switch out to laser, right? Or no, I do have ballistics. Doesn't matter. I digress. Once you can craft your own ships like sea level and you can fucking destroy things, it's so much fun. Just getting there was a pain in the ass, but then I found a guy's video who made it real fucking easy, and I was like, oh, never mind, this is real easy. It's a way to cheese it, and it's a fucking dumb way I should have figured out myself. But anyways, so when it came down to like the fucking the UC stuff, it was like I enjoyed it. It was cool. That one had a lot of the same problems that some of the missions do. Is you have to keep going back to a place after something, versus just using a fucking space phone of some sort.
Yeah, it's still terrible in stuff like that where you're literally just doing fetch quests between two different areas. And
yeah, they're like, hey, go talk to this person, and then you have to go all the way back. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you guys don't have fucking secure phones? Like, I can send a goddamn email. Mm-hmm. No, I have to travel back every time. I'm like, Jesus. And when you go back to Neon, instead of like putting you in like a convenient place, they put you in the middle of Neon Core, which means you have to run like a mile and a half one way to get back to Ryujin Tower, and then go up and then run. I'm like, dude, just y'all don't like. Even if I could just pick up a phone in the lobby and be like, yo, bro, this is what happened. Oh, I'm going here next. Cool, sweet. Send down whatever thing is you want me to do. But yeah, I did the Ryujin one only because it gives you one of the skills you can unlock later on, but you can get it just gratis, like without having to add a skill point to it.
I accidentally started that faction quest.
It's fun because
it's the first one that I started because I was just running around New Atlantis and I saw the Ryujin like recruitment thing and I was like, oh, what's this? And I started it and got all the way through the first bit where you have to like what is it? You have to steal the some data from that other company. Yeah, which was super dumb. I remember just walking in. There was a little bit before that where you talk to the secretary and then you have to again you do like a little fetch quest for her to do something to blah blah blah. But then just to steal the data, I just casually walk back to one of the computers, look around, crouch down, steal the data, crouch back up, and just walk away. And I was just like, yeah, that was it. Okay, what?
Yeah. Later on, there's one.
This is stupid.
Yeah. Later on, there's one that was very Sam Fishery, where you actually get kind of an option to do it. You can either use the manipulation skill and like do it while the thing's open, and it was way too difficult. Like, because to be able to use the manipulation things, you have to be able to see the person, which means you have to be line of sight for you and them. So you have to wait for them to hopefully make a round where their back is turned to you. But then there's like other security guards that see you. I was like, nah, I'll take the much more violent way. And so I did the whole thing where you can basically shut off the controls for the heating system, and it dumps fucking gas and shit into the building. They evacuate all the civilians. So all you have left over is security guards, which I'm never going to get a bounty on, so I can just kill whatever I want if I get caught. And I got caught. So I just murdered everything in sight and then did what I needed to do.
So violent.
Yeah, and that's my option every single time in this game. It's like, because the bounties are definitely not that hard to get away from. And you get so much more money later on in in-game that, like, it doesn't matter. I have a $26,000 bounty. Cool, I'll go to a different faction's section of space, pay it off at a bar, get a drink, and then go murder some more people. Like, I'm not going out and being a pirate. I'm not doing anything like that. But it's like, if I accidentally, like, blow somebody up because I'm in a gunfight with some criminals, all right, whatever, right? But, I mean, I could definitely do more, but I don't. But
whatever.
I ended up in space jail once with, God, what was it? It was a part of the main mission, too. It was like, what the fuck? Like, I had to have this stuff on me for this main mission. One of the faction quest, and I ended up in jail for it. I don't remember what it was now. No, I ended up with a bounty on my head because I killed somebody that I was supposed to kill. That's what it was.
Interesting. I'm not saying you're not. That's not correct, but that just seems weird. But yeah.
Yeah. But even then, like you said, it was literally like, okay, well, I guess I'll just what did I do? I think I did the time, and it took all of the resources that I had gathered during that mission away from me, and I was like, you're fucking stupid. I hate this.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say? I was saying something about it.
No, you weren't.
Yep, you're probably right. Which is the pretzel place that carries Dippin' Dots? Is it Auntie Anne's?
I have no idea.
Trying to
I
help
don't
Mike
know.
out with his dumb little fucking text message about getting Dippin' Dots.
So random. 10 a.m. Dippin' Dots.
Well, the only actual Dippin' Dots like place that I can think of is that place that's by um,
Mm-hmm.
Lou Malnati's?
Limonati's.
It's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore.
Nope.
Okay, then I have no idea. Like,
He's on his own. That's basically what I'm hearing.
yeah, he's on his own. Pretty sure, like I said, AMC theaters, you can get it in the lobbies. But you know, you're not going to go buy a ticket to just go to a vending machine in the lobby to get nitrogen ice cream.
Mike would.
I was gonna say.
Don't they sell Dippin' Dots at stores?
Yeah, you can get a little Dippin' Dot kit at like Target and Walmart, but I just don't know which ones carry it. I might be wrong. One of the pretzel places used to have Dippin' Dots also, but they might have gone away.
I have no idea. There's only like 2 pretzel places too. Well, I mean 3, I guess. There's Auntie Anne's. There was the other mall one, and then
There's Wetzel's, there's Auntie Anne's, and then sometimes if you find them, there's the Pretzel Company, which is terrible from every time I've had them.
Yeah.
Wetzel's is still the best, but it's like also like super expensive for the most part.
Actually, that makes me wonder that was it was it Twisted
Twisted by Wetzel.
Twisted by Wetzel? I know they sell ice cream there.
Yeah, but it's like soft serve stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But one of the ones at the mall, at least Arrowhead, used to have it. I want to say it was Auntie Anne's had a Dippin' Dots thing, but that might have been old and not there anymore. I'm not too sure. I was trying to look it up, but I don't see it on there. Last thing I'll say about Starfield, and we'll wrap it up because we are at the hour mark, and I'm getting that fucking signal from the producer over there. Cut it out. But the shipbuilding is very elaborate. I haven't done much of the outpost stuff other than building a fucking landing pad so I could build my own ship there. But the one thing that's frustrating is you can't, once you unlock, like there's certain vendor items you can only get from those vendors, right? But if you already buy them, you can't transfer from one ship to the other. So you have to then start, and you can't even start a new ship and build those. You have to build on an existing ship. So you can build a ship from scratch, but you can't start from scratch. You have to have a ship, start building it, and then essentially delete everything on there and then build it how you want.
And shell it, basically.
But you can't go up and say, I want to build a ship. You can say, I want to view and modify my ships, and then you can do it. So you have to either buy a basic ship and just scrap it, steal one, which right now is a problem because if you have the empty ship bug, which a lot of people do, including me, is whenever a ship lands, it's empty and never opens, so you can't board it and steal it. Which means you have to be in combat in space to do it, which is fine because if you disable it enough and board it, no one's on it, so you can just go and steal it. But the problem is, the ship I have is so powerful, it's really hard to not destroy it before I get close enough to dock.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is aggravating. And then also, if you end up stealing through the weird fucking, of course, Bethesda fucking flaw trick of stealing a Starborn ship, you can't sell them.
So you can steal a Starborn ship.
You can. There's a glitch basically where if you get to it, as they're disembarking, the door's accessible.
Okay.
Because
I
it's
did have a a planet that I landed on, and I hear another ship coming in, and I look up, and I'm like, that's a starborn ship. That's probably dangerous. Let's run to it.
Yeah, of course.
And it landed way off in the distance. So as I'm running up, I can see 4 starborn get out, and they start walking off into a distance. And I'm like, well, I'm not going over there. I want that fucking ship. I'm gonna go steal that ship. And then as I was crawling all over it to find the entrance to it, which I did, it was like, nope, you can't get in there. And I was like, fuck.
You have to go to the star door, Joe. Yeah, so it becomes inaccessible once they leave the ship, but you have to get them when they're exiting. And all of you is like basically like the video I saw a guy talk about is basically use one of the if you have the ability to slow down time, but if you use like a frost wolf or amp, basically doubles your movement speed, so you can run really quickly. So if you're not too far away, you can get there before it lands or as they're disembarking, because they don't like just exit the ship right away.
Yeah, they take their time walking off the ramp and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you get there, run past them, get to the door, hit the button, go in, and you can go steal the ship. But which is great if you're before you get your own, and it's a better one than you have. Mm-hmm. But you also can't sell it, so it just sits in your inventory. I'm probably just gonna get rid of it, like because there's a remove.
I wouldn't care about it. I mean, any ship is probably better than my Mantis ship right now.
Yeah. Mantis ship is not great.
Like it got the job done for a while.
Yeah, until you.
And it's still hilarious to see criminals be like, "Oh shit, that's the Mantis.
Yeah.
Let's run." But it gets annoying after a while when you're running into that exact same scenario constantly.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's a Mantis run, and then you save the guy, and the guy's like, oh my god, I didn't know the Mantis existed. I thought he was just a myth. And it's like, okay, this is... Obviously, somebody didn't make a bunch of different dialogue for these
yeah, there's
things.
no, I run into them all the time.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to get to is there's a mission you do for Walter Stroud, who's part of the Constellation, where you basically, his team is trying to build this new ship. And so he wants your oversight. Why he chooses you, it's just a funny dialogue thing. Like, he shouldn't pick you because you're like, what do you know about building ships?
Right.
So you go there and
mining rocks at the beginning of this game.
It's funny because like that plays into the story of the mission, where like the characters you're interacting, NPCs you're interacting with at the thing, which are all these like highly paid, highly educated shipbuilders and designers and all these things, are like, why are you the one telling us like what we shouldn't do? But you go through, and when you go through it, the end reward is one of 2 ships, the Kepler S or the Kepler R. Mm-hmm. The Kepler S is this piece of shit fucking rinky-dink, has nothing on it ship. The Kepler R, because you get the kitchen sink budget approved, has like everything in it. Like really good storage, and it's just this massive fucking hideous ship. It's fucking terrible looking. So whichever one you end up doing, I think this happens with the S2, but I got the R because I wanted the better one. Later on, I'm flying in a different ship now. I still have the Kepler R because I'm going to be doing something with it because I found a guy who like built this like ridiculous ship out of it. But you run into someone flying the Kepler R.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, what do you think of my nice fancy ship? And you have a dialogue option say, hey, I helped build that ship. Mm-hmm. And they thank you. They're like, oh my god, like this is so great. I have everything on here I've ever wanted in a ship. It's great. Like everything's on here. Later on, you run into them again, and they're cursing, and they're like, this piece of shit ship is blah blah blah, just blah. And they're like, you talk to them, and you're like, they don't remember you, and you're like, oh, actually, I built that. Like, oh, this is awkward because I promised my friend if I ever met the person who designed the ship, I'd punch him in the face. And I was like, bring it on, little girl. I'll fucking. She's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, and she just like jumped, and I was like, oh, I would have fucking taken that ship, girl.
Right.
I'd have taken another fucking Kepler R. I'd done the same thing to it, but I was like, yeah. But it's just funny because like weird things like that keep happening where like I'll run into an NPC that I've dealt with in the past, and like they remember me, or like the instance is repeated or whatever, and that was one of them. It made me laugh a lot, and I was like, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
All right, well, anywho, that's it.
Yep.
For this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We have been
Joe.
Taj.
I've been Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.